Okay.
Welcome everybody. Time up the video and the audio together. That's how it kind of rolls.
It's definitely weird how you can hear yourself. Definitely weird.
Yeah, we need a little more length on this headset here.
Can you pull on it a little bit? Well, easy now. It's zip tied underneath. It's all harnessed together.
I can lean forward here with this. What if I do something like that? Does this work?
You just need the microphone closer to you.
Closer to me?
Yeah.
About there?
Yeah, like one fist length away. Alex watches Rogan. He knows.
Yeah. I don't know. Can you hear me fine?
Yeah, I can hear you good, bud.
Okay, cool.
How about you, Matt?
I can hear everybody fine.
You can hear everybody fine.
Yeah, can y'all hear me fine?
Yeah, pretty good, man.
Yeah.
Pretty good. And by the way, it doesn't hurt to get closer to this thing. Just so you know. Like, yeah, don't be too afraid. But good to see you boys. A little bit after hours action here, huh?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, we all heard about, Tanner's New Year's resolution.
Yeah.
Dude, it is hard. It is hard. I tried. Week and a half. It was probably the hardest week and a half I've ever had in my life.
Right?
I've just had it's definitely had a choke on me for the last 7 years.
Vaping's different, man.
It is. And it's something about nicotine. Nicotine just gets you up and going, and it feels good.
Yeah.
It feels good. Like this last week, whenever I quit for a week and a half, the first hit that I had off my vape, it was probably the best buzz I've ever had in my life. Best buzz I've ever had in my life. And that's kind of why
Knocked you on your ass.
I failed, and I bought another one. That's what sucks. But
Yeah.
it sucks. I at work, I just had a bunch of a 32 pack of gum that I went through in 2 days, and then I had to go buy. In total, I went through 4 packs of those
Dude.
in
That's
a week
a
and a
lot.
half. Week and a half.
At that point, smoking's cheaper.
Yeah, I agree.
It almost is. Even if you start to kind of prorate out the medical bills that you're going to get at the end, that's still
a lot to
might not be a bad deal.
That's what sucks, is that I'm not seeing the effects of it right now.
No, it's going to come in time.
Exactly.
It's gonna come in time,
That's
yeah.
the reason why it's hard for me to quit, because I'm not seeing the effects of it right now.
Right. Yeah.
That's the hardest part. Is you don't see it right at the moment, but you know it's coming, and you can kind of shrug it off because it seems like it's gonna be in like 30 years or so.
That's right.
Which,
And then it comes quick.
yeah, definitely.
That's how my grandpa died.
Yep. Dude, it does. I started chewing, Copenhagen at 15 years old. I turned 30 in April.
Whew.
Oh,
Haven't
man.
taken a break since or anything.
And I was never I know guys that were like a can a day guys or whatever it is. Like I was probably, I don't know, half a can to a quarter of a can a day. And I mean, that's 15 years of that. And I'm 2 weeks in now into not having it.
You said,
Oh,
dip?
really?
Yeah, Copenhagen, yeah.
Dude, I tried to get myself into that in high school. I made myself so sick that I told myself I'm never touching
doing
shit
that again.
No, no.
I used to dip in school because you can get away with like the snus packets. You put a couple
Right.
in your top lip, and the teacher will never know.
Oh yeah, but
That was how I used to do it.
good God. So what we just declared is we're all just a bunch of degenerates. How wonderful.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Yep.
Awesome. All right. So Alex, why don't you introduce yourself real quick, bud? What do you do, man?
My name is Alex Medrano, and I currently work at Frankenstein Engine Dynamics, and I am in charge of the shipping and receiving
That's right.
at the moment.
That's wonderful.
Yes.
You like it?
It has its moments.
It does.
It's definitely not a hard job at all.
But it can be a little intense in certain moments.
Yes, I agree. Especially whenever the UPS driver shows up at 4, and then I'm getting 5 orders to be done. They're giving it to me at like 3:40.
And don't forget about the salesman that told you that one thing that had to leave today, no matter what.
Yeah.
You got to keep that in the back of your mind, right?
Yeah, exactly. So it has its moments for sure. I've done it for almost 2 years now.
Right?
Almost 2 years.
Is this your
And-
first job?
Yeah, I went to college. I actually went for mechanical engineering, and I actually went to Tarleton State University and to study mechanical engineering so I could work here, because my senior year, I found out about this place. Me and Jose, we actually had an engineering class together.
Right.
And yeah, we knew that's where we wanted to work. So that's why I pursued mechanical engineering. Soon realized that it's a bunch of bullshit. Mainly because, I mean, I'm a hands-on guy.
Right.
I like doing the hands-on type learning. And it was just, you go to class one day and they give you a page that has four questions. But within each of those questions, there's probably 15 other questions within each.
Okay.
The reason why I decided that it wasn't for me was I had to do 4 questions, but there was about 15 in each. And just about one question within that question took me about like 2 hours just to finish. And we had to turn it in the next day.
Oh.
And that like I get it. It's definitely a lot. The engineering part is definitely a lot. And God bless who makes it through. But
It's a tough program pretty much anywhere you do it at.
I agree.
And don't get me wrong, the world needs mechanical engineers. Right?
for sure.
But I'm of the opinion, and so are a lot of other people that are really good in this industry, that it's not necessary to have that degree to be successful in this industry.
Right.
Now, can it help you? Sure. But the other thing is it can also pull you back because it sets up certain habits and certain pre-notions about how things function and work in the way that you thought it might have been. And it's a little bit different.
Yeah. No, and the straw that broke the camel's back was Jose obviously started working here. And I was just about to finish my sophomore year in college. And Jose was like, hey, man, we got a job if you want a job up here. And I was like, I was studying this whole time just to go work there.
Right.
And I was like, might as well go work there and work myself up.
Sure.
And that's what I've been doing since.
Yeah.
And that's where we're at.
Hell yeah. So what about you, Matt? What do you do here, bud?
I push buttons on the CNC machines.
Professional button pusher?
Professional button pusher, yeah. I'm the machinist here at Frankenstein. Poured heads all day long. Cut billet all day long. That's the show, man.
Yeah, I've been listening to some of your greatest hits here over here on the Takumi.
Yep.
Roughing out some runners. Yeah.
Yeah, that's my favorite one there.
Oh, dude, that thing gets it. I mean, for a little 3-axis, she runs good. So this isn't your first job, Matt. You've kind of been around.
I've been around, yeah. This is, I lose track anymore. This is the 7th or the 8th machine shop I've worked in the last 7 years or so. Yeah, I jumped around a lot. I started in Washington. I got a job offer from a friend. I was working at a shop called Turbo Technology. I was an installer there at a performance shop. And then a water jet position opened up at Presco Products, and I started there. And then kind of got into like a tool and die apprenticeship and worked there for a few years. And then I wanted to get into CNC, so I started jumping around from job to job. I would go to one job that hired me to just be an operator, and they're like, okay, we're going to train you this, and you're going to be this for the rest of your life. And I'm like, okay, well, that's not cool. Now I want to be a setup guy. I want to know how the machines work. So quit that job, go to the next job, and then just kind of did that 5 or 6 times. Kind of got my own apprenticeship through there. You know, it was nothing official in any one spot, but just jumped around from place to place, got the experience that I wanted, and ended up here.
And were you in Washington when you got the deal to come here?
No. So I ended up out here because of COVID. So the shop I worked for before I left, it was called Metal Motion, and they were a direct supplier for Boeing. And the way their shops worked was a cash on delivery. And when COVID hit, Boeing shut down for 3 weeks. So you can't deliver, can't get cash. So they delayed it for a few weeks. When COVID hit, they were like, okay, everybody, we're going to take a week off to be safe. Like, okay, cool. And then they did it again, extended another week. And then when it came to the end of that week, they were like, okay, they sent out a mass text to everybody. They were like, basically, if you're not on this list, you don't work here anymore. I was like, oh, right on. So flew back to Washington, packed up my apartment, got a U-Haul, and then moved out with my parents here in Weatherford. They were living off of 180, like in between Weatherford and Mineral Wells. And it wasn't until about a year after. Actually, I got in here because of Gavin, because Gavin and my dad were friends. I never knew Gavin personally back in Washington, but everybody knew about Simcoe Porting Services. So Gavin came down, had some stuff from another friend of ours in Washington to drop off, and wanted us to hold his truck. And then he heard that I was a machinist, asked what I knew about blah, blah, blah. And yeah, so came in for an interview, gave me the opportunity, and it's been good since. It worked out.
Hell yeah. How long you been here now?
Year and a half. Year and a half. I think it was May of 21. May of 21.
Okay. So we picked you up right in the middle of the pandemic. I didn't remember that.
Yep.
Yeah. Interesting. Huh. Now, how long you been here, Alex, now?
Closing up on 2.5.
That's what I thought.
Closing up on 2.5. Yeah, October 19th, I'll hit my third year. October 19th.
Awesome.
Yep. It's been a ride. It's been a ride.
It's different.
It definitely is.
It beats the hell out of digging ditches on the side of the road.
Yeah, you ain't kidding.
Yeah, no kidding. You got AC in here. I wear my hoodie year round in here.
Oh, dude, I do too.
That's the crazy part.
Yeah.
People, I go home with my hoodie still on. People are like, well, during the summer?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, I work inside.
Oh, yeah. It's just like in the wintertime, like when I go fire up my car, like to get it warmed up and get heat in it and all that stuff. It gets about June, July or whatever, about 5 minutes before we haul ass out of here. I'm going to fire up the freaking car, turn the AC on blast, walk out there in my hoodie and sit down in it. And then I get out and go inside the pilot or whatever. And they're like, what the hell?
No, I can definitely tell you that I've become a little lighter working here.
Yeah.
My skin color, for sure. Definitely. I haven't seen as much sunlight as I used to.
Same, brother. Same. Same. I used to be a lot darker than I am now.
No, in the summers, I would get really dark. I would get super dark. Now I'm about the same color all year round.
Yeah, I feel you on that, man. So, tell me a little bit, Alex. Like, where are you from? Like, are you're obviously local to the area when you picked it up here, but like where are you from, man?
Born and raised in Weatherford, Texas.
Okay.
My family came over here. So my brother, he's 5 years older than me.
Okay.
And whenever he was one, so let me back up a little bit. Right before that, my grandpa and dad, they both were crossing the border from Mexico to here to find work, help support my family back home.
Right.
After the third time, when my brother was one, they decided to move out here with my whole mom's side of the family.
Okay.
My dad's side of the family is still over there. Yeah, so I was born in 1998 here in Weatherford, Texas, and I've been here since. I have not left. And
wow.
Yeah, I'm definitely a local. Definitely a local.
No kidding.
Yeah,
one of the few locals really here.
Yeah, I know this place completely like the back of my hand.
That's funny.
I know it.
I still get lost.
Yeah,
I've been here for 5 years. I still get lost.
Yep.
No, it's definitely, it's an interesting town.
It's not even a big town.
No, definitely not. I've seen it grow a lot.
I believe that.
So when I was about 6, I do remember that the population here was about 25,000 people.
Okay.
25,000 people.
What is it now?
You might have to look that up. But I can probably say it might be around 150,000. That would be my best guess. No, I wouldn't say. I'd say close to 100,000.
I'm going to look it up right now.
That would be my best bet. But I guess I'm one of the few that has actually seen this town grow completely. Because over there on 20 right there where all that Target, all that whole side right there.
Right.
And the side of like where CC's Belk and all that. I remember all that being just trees. Just trees. There was absolutely nothing there. And the only road was the main road.
That's
Main
interesting.
Street. Yeah, that was the only road.
That's hilarious.
Which is crazy. Yeah, I've definitely seen crazy developments happen. It's been interesting for sure.
It says here in 2020 that it was 30,854, according to Wikipedia.
Okay, I was way off.
But you're not, I don't think you're that wrong because like Weatherford, the town kind of ends on the south side of
that makes
like,
sense.
like pretty much here.
Right.
Like at Ranger Highway up against 20. It goes a little bit across that from what I'm looking at on this map. But
That would make a lot more sense because
there's
I've
so
lived
many
in town.
people surrounding
Weatherford,
the town itself.
Yeah, like,
and it's still
Brock,
labeled
Millsap.
Weatherford. Right.
Yeah,
Brock,
yeah.
Millsap, even Peaster.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, all this stuff's blown up out here.
It's pretty much considered Weatherford for sure.
Right.
Because I mean, I had some friends from all those
Exactly.
small towns. Those are
Exactly.
super small towns.
Yeah.
Millsap, crazy
Millsap, small little town.
Crazy small.
Mhm.
I had a friend that graduated there with like 60 people in his class.
Oh, wow.
Super small. That's why they all had to come to Weatherford to do something or grab groceries or anything like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. So, like, your family, like, left everything behind in Mexico to
Yeah.
come up here. Wow.
Yeah, my dad and my grandpa, they would both cross the border, obviously swimming and then hopping on a train.
Interesting.
And I guess where they ended up was Weatherford.
Wow.
And they liked it, so they thought it was a little safe spot. and everything. So yeah, they decided to just move everyone over here, and we've been here since then.
It's freaking wild.
It's a crazy story, man. It's a crazy story. I wish I could tell you the whole details, but my dad gets a little. He just definitely still gets a little emotional about it.
Oh, I bet.
Sure. It is a hell. It's a story that I can't describe.
I want to hear it from him one day. To be honest,
I'll definitely get him to talk about it, and I'll let y'all know, because I mean it's not a lot of people that would have the courage to do that, honestly.
Well, right. I mean, I grew up in like Homestead, so I grew up with a lot of people that came from Cuba.
Yeah, that too.
They're fleeing communism, right? And like, you think how hard it is to, like, I know, and Matt knows how hard it is to pack all your stuff up, put it in a U-Haul or your pickup truck, depending on how much stuff you got, and truck it halfway across the country, because now you're going to your new home.
Right.
Right. Now take all that, strip all your earthly possessions away outside of a case of water, and you're in a raft with a small block Chevy hooked up to a prop out of the back of a pickup truck that you put inflatable floaties around the edge of, and you're going to go 90 miles from Havana to Key West.
Yeah, no, those stories,
People are absolutely like I have max respect for the people that have taken that journey to come across, because it is literally looking death in the eye.
See, that's definitely it makes like the people coming from Mexico.
It's
seems
still
like
really hard.
Yes, it's something that I don't think anyone would ever want to go through.
No,
but those people coming from those torn countries like that,
they're another level.
They have so much more water to go through. It's insane. I've heard some stories of like Cubans and stuff like that. It's probably the most heart-wrenching stories I've heard.
Yeah, when it was in the peak, like in the 80s and 90s and stuff, my dad would go fishing with his buddies. You know, they go offshore fishing or whatever, and you live right there. The Atlantic Ocean and the Gulf is like your backyard and your playground. So like they would go out fishing, and they just find empty vessels, just
left.
They didn't make it, or they did,
or they ditched them,
right, and they walked up.
Yeah.
So, but you don't ever know. You
really don't. I guess not until there's an actual person on the raft or to let you know the story and stuff.
Exactly. But no, it's been that. It's kind of weird because I, just being a normal ass white kid,
right.
Just no family didn't do anything extraordinary to get here.
Not in this generation, not your generation, because you definitely came from somewhere else, as everyone has. But
sure,
probably it doesn't hit you as hard just because it wasn't such a close impact to you.
Right. Like my great grandfather came from Syria across. Like he left like some of his other wives there, grabbed whatever one I guess he liked best.
Right.
And like went across like very uneventful, like in an ocean liner, probably not in first class or anything, but like probably not in the basement or whatever it is.
Right.
The floor of it, and kind of went across, you know what I mean? Like just uneventful stuff.
Right.
But yeah.
Nah, it definitely makes me curious about like where I come from and stuff like that.
Oh, absolutely.
Because I mean, hearing that story, and that's my dad and grandfather, I can't imagine what my great grandfather went through.
Exactly.
And that's only 3 people away.
Yep. And now looking at like what's going on in Syria now, like I'm eternally grateful for that decision that someone else made a long time ago that I never met.
Agreed.
It's a lot better situation to be here than there.
Agreed. Yeah,
but
there's just too much going on, man. Too much.
Yeah. So, Matt, how about you? Did you have to walk yourself across the Rockies to get here and like through Donner Pass in a big snowstorm with a sleigh of dogs and all that stuff, or no?
No,
you don't have a cool story.
No. I had to swim through a pair of walls to get here, and that was about it. Really.
Okay.
No, I was born in Pennsylvania, Bucks County.
Right.
That's where my mom's family's from. So I think we were just visiting at the time. I moved around a lot. So like I spent the first 5 years of my life in Indiana, Fort Wayne, Indiana. We're from Columbus, Indiana originally. This is where my dad's family's from. We moved out to Washington and spent most of my life there, pretty much my adult life. And then we ended up moving back to Indiana a few years ago. This was like 18 or 19, something like that. So we moved back out to Indiana for a year. And then I moved back to Washington, and I was there for 2 or 3 years. And then that's how I ended up back here.
Okay.
So, yeah, I've kind of jumped around a lot. But no good stories or anything like that. Like, we just moved around. Dad kept finding different jobs. So first he was working in an assembly line for GM in Fort Worth, and then he got a degree in mechanical engineering, and he ended up working for Boeing. He worked for Boeing first, got laid off from Boeing, and we went back to Indiana, and then got his job back at Boeing, came back, and
That's a lot of moving, bud. And
we've
it's not
gone
close.
around. Yeah, no, we've been around a lot. And so let's see. Dad went back and forth from like Boeing and Dassault a few times because like the first time Dad got a job at Boeing, his whole department went on strike like within the first week.
Wonderful.
Yeah, so that was nice. So he came to work and everyone's like, yeah, we're not working. And he's like, well, that ain't going to happen. So he left. And then that's when he ended up at Dassault for a few years, then got back at Boeing. And yeah, that was kind of it. So we grew up in Puyallup, Washington. That's where I went to all my school. Went to elementary, junior high, high school. Graduated there. Yeah, like not much of a big story with that. We grew up. Cars was kind of our big thing. So Dad had
I was going to ask, how'd you get into cars? Because I know you got a Corvette and all this other stuff, but
Yep.
like, what was the bug that crawled up and got you involved in all this
Yeah, that's from
senseless
Dad.
burning of money?
Yep, I'm a daddy's boy.
Okay,
so
I get it.
He had a Fox body when I was a little kid, and he got rid of that. But it was cool. I think it had like a Vortec T trim on it or something, and like 100 shot of nitrous. Like
Hell yeah.
Back in the day, that thing was the shit.
He's a bad bitch.
Yep. He got rid of that, and for a couple years he had a base model C5, a black C5, and that was when he started at Boeing and then had to leave because he went on strike. So he let that just get repoed because he kind of got screwed on that. Got a new job, bought a new car, and then but so his big car that we grew up with, he's got a C5 Z06 that grew over the years. Now it's a twin turbo nitrous power glide setup. It's still mostly, I don't know.
Don't
if I
say
could
street car.
Well, aside the fact that it doesn't have AC or power brakes or power steering, it's street car.
Outside of the fact
and
that
the fact that
the
it
things that make it a
overheats, and it
street car. Oh, okay, and it overheats. Okay, so outside of all the things that make it a street car, it's a street car.
Yeah. But it's in a weird limbo spot because it's not a full race car. It doesn't work like a race car, and it doesn't work like a street car. So I don't even really know what you would call it. It's a cool toy at this point.
Yeah.
He went overboard. So originally he had a Turbo Technology twin turbo kit on it, and that was a street setup for a long time. And I think he made best of like 980 wheel out of it, 980 horsepower. He wanted to break 1,000, so he had them build him a custom like up and forward kit, and they're twin 76s, I believe. He didn't make the power that he wanted out of it, but he's also kind of restricted on his motor. He's ran like a stock motor all these years on it, like piston rod maybe, but it's always been stock block, stock crank. He's got some Edelbrock heads on it. Like he couldn't afford to do big money builds, so he just keeps blowing through junkyard LSs to get his kicks out of it.
I get it.
So, yeah, that was how I got into cars. I started with, I had a Fox body. My second car was a Fox body. I had to get one of those. Then I got into a New Age Mustang 02. Those were all stock. And then I got my Firebird. I had a 01 Firebird. That was my first toy. It ended up being like a heads cam nitrous setup.
Okay.
It was pretty fun. It made 550 horsepower. Went 1120s, 1130s or something on 100 shot.
How many 406s did you go through?
Two or three.
It's not that bad. There's worse.
But this was just in a few years. I only had the car for like 3 years. It didn't take long.
Oh, man.
Yeah, changing out 406s in the driveway is a pain in the ass, man.
Oh, we got good at it.
I bet. I believe you.
It started with Dad's car because he auto swapped his to a 406D and started burning through those things.
Weird twin turbos and wow, who knew?
So that turned into like a seasonal venture of where So he used to have RPM transmission,
Yep.
build all this stuff, and then he couldn't afford it anymore. So he's like, I'm going to tear this shit apart, and we're going to figure it out. And it was always the 3/4 clutch pack, and so that's
Every time.
That's the first thing that comes out. You take the pump off, and then there's a sun shell, and then there's the 3/4 clutch pack. So it's the easiest thing to get to in the whole transmission. So we kind of started with that, and
then you
Yeah.
found out the 2.3 was burned up pretty much most of the time too.
yep, yep.
Hell yeah. So Alex, have you decided after watching everybody that has cars here and stuff like that that you're finally going to join the money burning party?
I'd love to, man. I'd love to, but the way this economy is going right now, I think I have some other priorities that are on top of that list. I would love to, for
That
sure.
makes sense.
I would love to. Like,
You're smarter than us.
Yeah.
I don't even know how I'm making those decisions right now because I feel like I would already have just spent all my money in a money pit on a car or something, which I would definitely love to. I would love to.
I'm in there right now. I'm trying to dig out of my money pit with
Yeah.
a shovel though. I'm not really sure how it's going.
Which I definitely feel like I've been making smart decisions because I've been taking care of debt already. Just trying to stay debt free and definitely working on my credit score already.
You're smarter than all of us, bud. I just put it out there, man. You're a lot smarter than all of us.
I'll tell you the only reason why is because I have a fiance. If I didn't have a fiance, I would be the exact same way as Matt. I have a Corvette Z06 already. I would be spending money, dumb money for sure. But a lot of the decisions that I make are coming from a mutual standpoint with me and my fiance.
Those situations begin to put things into perspective differently.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, I just got married not too long ago. It was like 2021. Yeah, I got married in October 2021.
Yeah.
And I expected, like when people told me that everything's going to change, you know, like me and her, like our day-to-day relationship hasn't really changed at all. But it's just how far ahead you look. Like Chris told me all this shit, right? I didn't believe a fucking word of it. He's like, man, you're going to, this is going to happen, and then this is going to happen, and then this, and this, and this. And I'm like, no.
Not me.
There's a $5,000 in Norwalk this week, and I'm trying to figure out if there's a car and a flight I can catch out there.
Right.
You know, like that was my mentality. And it's changed a lot. I mean, maybe I just got lucky. I don't know if everybody's this way, but like I enjoy spending time with my wife.
I agree.
You know, and I would really like to see it keep going that way, obviously. But you just make different decisions. And definitely. I mean, there's still room in there to go racing and stuff like that. I'm excited to go racing this year. But it does change everything.
Right.
And if you want kids, it's definitely going to change that too.
At the moment, me and her are both on the same page. We don't want one.
All right.
At the moment.
Yeah,
And it can
that
obviously
could
change
change.
the next 5 years.
That could
next year.
change,
Who knows?
Yeah.
But at the moment, we both have agreed on that.
Yeah.
We both have a life that we want to fulfill our dreams and
Sure.
our goals that we want to reach. And
Sure.
me and her definitely together we can make that happen.
Awesome. Oh yeah.
It's definitely different, but one thing I am glad is that she lets me do whatever I want to do and
Perfect.
supports me no matter what.
There's nothing
she's-
that can beat that, man.
She's definitely a ride or die.
Yeah.
Ride or die.
There's nothing that can beat that. So Matt, you've been sleazing down to the stockyards at PRs and stuff like that, looking for a Buckle Bunny to pick up
No.
on those Thursday night lady nights. That's why you get in here a little Friday about 9-ish maybe instead of 8.
Cadillac.
No, I just hit the snooze. I just didn't want to come in. No, I've had a few girlfriends, a few serious girlfriends, and they never worked out. And I'm at the point in my life where, so he wants to build his own life, right? Alex wants to build, he's got his goals and stuff, and I'm kind of in the same position. And maybe it's a little bit of selfishness in me, but like, you know, I just want to have my own things, do my own thing. I don't want to have somebody say you can't do that, or you can't spend that money, or we need to go shopping and look at clothes and things. No, I don't want to mess with that. You know, I kind of like just keeping to myself at this point. So maybe someday, but no. And it definitely won't be somebody from the stockyards. I've been to that. I don't want none of that.
No, I completely understand that because I mean before her, I wasn't like I had relationships.
Sure.
Wasn't completely invested in them. I made a lot of bad decisions for sure.
Right.
But the reason why me and her click is just because all throughout high school we were completely best friends. Like,
So y'all met in high school?
Yes.
Okay.
Like a little flirtatious,
Sure.
all the time, and that kind of type of best friend relationship.
Right.
She never gave me the chance. I always tried until going into college, and that's when we decided to give it a try. We've been together
Sweet.
since, for sure. And I think that's what makes it easy is we were best friends before,
You're familiar.
and we're working towards being married and everything like that. But the best friend is still there. It makes it a lot easier. Definitely a lot more fun, I believe.
I would agree
And
with that.
Whenever you find that one best friend, and then you make something happen with them, you can always find someone, and then they become your best friend for sure. But we had some history, and we've always been friends, so it definitely helps. Definitely helps.
Honestly, man, that's brings a tear to my eye, man. How about you?
More. It's so sweet.
I didn't expect to
appreciate
get this deep 30 minutes into this deal. Goodness gracious.
Oh, man.
We're stone cold sober and just plummeted right off into the deep end here. No, that's okay. I think that's I don't know. It's interesting, right? So like I've been here 5 years. When I came here at 25, I was a shithead. Like let's not pull any punches. Okay. Now I'm married and trying to have kids. Big change. But I also saw a lot of other things change. Like I seen Jesse change.
Yeah.
Jesse's changed a lot in those 5 years too. Jesse, is going skateboarding now and is like, he's got a big freaking hematoma and bruise on his hip, and he's talking about falling down vert ramps and
So I thought that skateboard
Shit.
was for his son.
so there one
is.
was, and then he was like, screw it, I'm not gonna let him have all the damn fun. So then he went and got him one, and Jesse's old school, so Jesse is not gonna skate street. Jesse's gonna skate vert.
All right.
So with vert come big consequences.
I think so. I used to skateboard quite a bit.
Oh, I never
and
could. I could
think
surf,
that's
but
the
I can't
hardest part,
skateboard.
man. That's the hardest part of skateboarding. I think is having the balls to drop on those vert ramps.
Dude, exactly.
They're straight down.
Yeah.
They're straight down, and sometimes they even go in and then come back out, which is the insane part.
Right,
because
depending on how old they are.
I
Yeah.
skateboarded for 4 years. I never had the balls to do it. I never dropped into one of those.
Yeah, dude.
Insane.
Dude,
insane.
I was telling Jesse the other day. So like where I grew up, I was able to go surfing, and I mean it's not phenomenal surf by any means necessary. 4-foot waves are a phenomenal day. Okay, so my parents didn't even know I was surfing because I was playing baseball at the time, and I was supposed to be taking that super seriously. But I had a surfboard over at a buddy's house that just kind of leaned up against the house. I just go grab it on the way to the beach, and go hit it and go. And there was a swell, like a hurricane coming up the East Coast where I lived in Fort Pierce, and they like when that happens, it pushes the surge, towards the shore.
Right.
So you get bigger break. And I want to say it's maybe like 6.5, 7 foot waves, right? Okay, so obviously bigger than what I was dealing with.
Right.
I go out, I paddle out, and I go, and I see the first one when I get in the set, and I see the first one as I'm still paddling out, trying to get to a lineup behind it, and I try to go over the top. I go over the top, I catch air, I come back down, and slam board comes up, pops me in the chin. You know what I mean? Like whole thing, rack my teeth, and I'm like, oh, that hurt like hell. And I keep going. I got like 2 more to go, and then I see this next one, and I just go underneath it. And then the next one, it's not breaking, so I can just kind of roll over the top. Okay. And I get in the lineup, and I just got my ass kicked back there. And I'm sitting around, I'm looking around, and there's like a lot of people there. There were like photographers on the beach and shit and all this other stuff. Oh, yeah. There's like this whole thing. Like I assume there's probably like, it must have just been slow everywhere else in the surfing world because there's like people there to take pictures for magazines and shit, I guess. And so I get in the lineup, and these other guys kind of go, and they both eat shit. And then I get ready, and I'm like, man, this is going to suck. And I just immediately start just pumping. This wave comes, and I stand up on it, and I get up, and I'm standing, and I go to turn. My dumbass turns the wrong fucking way. Bam! Right? And my head just, it's head down, feet straight up, head hits the bottom, bounce up, come back up. Next thing you know, I'm come back up, another one's landing on me. these aren't even big waves, dude. these are 6 foot waves.
You're getting tore
That's
up
crazy.
out there.
Right? And then I'm like, I'll get into skateboarding. It's safer, right? I grab a skateboard. I kind of learned how to skate and stuff out in the driveway and all that stuff. And we go to, I went somewhere with my cousin, I can't remember, it was somewhere down south. And they had a mini ramp, right? Just a little itty bitty half pipe kind of deal. And I get on that and I'm like piddling around with that. I'm like, oh, that's cool. And he's like, well, they got a full half pipe here. And I'm like, no way. Let me see it. And I go walking over there, right? And I'm standing, in the middle of the half pipe and I'm just looking up at the thing and I'm like, nuh-uh. I've seen this before. And that one was made of water. This one's made of wood. This thing will hurt me bad.
Yeah.
I'm not down for that.
No, those were pretty fun, man. I used to skateboard with my friends. I started in middle school and probably stopped around my junior year in high school. We used to always go to there's a skate park, and it's a pretty big one in Grand Prairie, Alliance Skate Park.
Okay.
A lot of people that skateboard, they know it for sure. They have a whole facility there, and I'd love just going on those half pipes. Those are way different than just those vert ramps, because those are probably like 12 feet tall.
I think that's right. Yeah.
Looking straight down.
Yeah.
Those half pipes are probably 7-8 feet. But they're definitely not just straight downs. It's definitely...
It's got a little bit longer transition
in it.
It's
more forgiving for sure. But no, I remember the first time I dropped, I was so scared, and I was just staring down there. I hesitated so many times. And I think what did it was when I hesitated, I was like, fuck it. So I went down, and then I tried pulling back. So I literally did like a wheelie on the back of my wheels, and skateboard just swooped from right under me, hit my back and my head on the ramp.
Knock the wind out of you?
Yeah, definitely. It sucked. It sucked. But it gave me the courage. I was like, fuck it, let's keep doing it.
I like it.
Definitely sucked.
Hell yeah. Matt, you do any other extracurricular activities before you became a machinist?
Well, I don't know about extracurricular per se. I used to mountain bike a lot growing up and back in Washington.
That would make sense. There's mountains there.
There were mountains everywhere. That's what was nice.
I bet it's beautiful up there, those mountains.
It is. That's
Mountain
really,
biking up there.
that's the only thing I miss from Washington is just the scenery, the trees, the mountains. Like you don't get none of that here. And so we used to like going around, like you drive down one main road and there's going to be like 3 or 4 parks with all sorts of walking trails, biking trails everywhere. So it's like you could go anywhere and ride your bike, go walk through the woods. Like it was great. It was a good time. So I used to ride my bike everywhere. I tried skateboarding. I had a friend try and teach me skateboarding when I was younger. Didn't make it very far. I had this old skateboard that I got when I was like a little kid, and he was trying to teach me how to kickflip. And I got it to about the point where I can get the board flipped over. And then I got it to the point where I could almost get my feet on it. And when I finally got my foot on it, the truck snapped in half.
That was the end of that.
Those are some bad trucks.
Yeah. So I was like, no, I'm way too fat for skateboarding. So mountain bikes was where it was at.
That's a good exercise too, man.
It was.
That sounds like it whips your ass, man. I've watched
does.
like some guys, like you're scrolling TikTok or whatever, and you see like just a dude with a GoPro on this helmet, and he's just, just absolutely just hauling ass through this thing. And I'm like, man, that's a lot of work.
It is.
I don't think I can do that on a dirt bike, let alone something I got to power.
So going up the mountain is the hardest part.
I would assume that.
Oh, yeah.
But it's definitely worth it whenever you're going downhill.
I was going to say, going down also could be the worst part.
Oh, see,
That's
if
the
you-
best part.
But it could be the worst
It
part.
definitely could. Definitely could. Especially like in Washington is probably a lot more wooded, everything like
Yep.
that.
Uh-huh.
Imagine going
Just
20,
smack a tree with the
25
back
miles
of your
per hour.
head.
Yeah, straight into a tree. Yeah, that's gonna hurt. That's gonna hurt. If you don't die, that's gonna hurt.
Just added another thing that I'm never going to do to the list.
I
I've got a
never
big
hit a
list of stuff I'm never going to do. I just put that right there.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Like the ones around here, they're definitely they're cool. I
I'm
like
thankful I just live around hills and stuff.
them. Yeah.
Like I did not grow up with that at all. There were no hills.
No,
The only
me
hills
neither.
were bridges.
Yeah. Agreed. Yeah, there ain't too much over here either.
No, it's nice, man. A lot of people take it for granted. We're at the very northern edge of what, like geographically you could, I guess, assume the hill country.
Yeah, I
You know what I mean? It's
Yeah,
like the
for sure.
very northern edge where
For
it
sure.
starts to develop. I like it. I think it's beautiful. But like, I'm a sucker for it too,
I have
though.
no complaints either. No complaints.
Yeah.
I've definitely traveled quite a bit, and I've seen a lot of places.
Yep.
And I'm always glad when I'm back home. For honestly, it's good to see everything, but coming back home to Texas is a little bit different. It hits different.
It does.
It's nice.
There's so much stuff about it, man. There's so much, especially Fort Worth area.
Fort Worth.
I mean, we're 30 minutes away from downtown Fort Worth.
Yeah.
And that's like the nice part is that in where I live south of Fort Worth. So like every morning when I'm coming this way, everybody's coming from Weatherford to Fort Worth.
Right.
On the way home, everybody's going from Fort Worth to Weatherford.
Right.
I'm going the opposite way. So I don't have any of the issues with traffic that other people have.
Mm-hmm.
And like me and Tanner, Tanner's not far from me. Every day, that's like the easiest drive ever, to be
Right.
totally honest with you. I've worked, like when I first moved here, I was actually driving every day from Burleson to Forney. There's a place called TNT Race Cars out in Forney.
Mm-hmm.
And I drove over there pretty much all the time. Just,
How long is that drive?
hour 45
That's
Every-
rough.
each
every
way.
day.
And that was in my my blue truck. You guys weren't here when I had my old blue truck. It was like a 04 2500 with the 8.1 in it and the Allison. That thing got 9 miles to the gallon, whether you're going 50 or $1.50. It was 9 miles to the gallon. Didn't care. With a trailer hooked up, without a trailer hooked up, and I mean heavy ass trailers. Didn't care.
That's a lot of gas money, man.
It was. It was a ton. When I got to the point where I realized that my gas money was higher, like my gas bill was higher than what I was getting paid, I was like, man, I appreciate the job and everything, man.
Yeah,
But I don't think this is going to work.
No, that's tough. That's definitely tough. I mean,
Yeah.
me even making that, when I first started here, I was living in Stephenville, making that 45-minute drive.
Yeah.
Like, at the same time, it was crucial, but, or not crucial. I forgot the word. Anyways, it was tough, but at the same
Yeah.
time, it was kind of nice in the mornings having that 45 minutes to an hour drive to myself, and on
Sure.
the way back, just put it on a podcast.
Exactly. That's what I do.
Gave me time to wake up as well before
Yeah.
I got here. It wasn't bad, but I'm definitely glad I don't have to do it anymore for
What,
sure.
what kind of podcast you listen to? I'm going to say Rogan off the top
yeah,
because
obviously.
we both listen to
Obviously.
that. Matt, do you listen to Rogan?
No, I don't listen to any podcast.
You don't listen to any podcast.
Nuh-uh.
You're quite the intellectual, Matt.
Is that what that means?
Yeah, it's mostly for me. It's mostly comedians.
Okay.
'Cause I like having a laugh at work.
It is enjoyable. I've started doing that now that I'm back here and I'm not on the phone. I kind of like started listening to some George Carlin stuff or whatever while I'm plugging away on like writing a tech blog or whatever the hell it is I'm doing. I enjoy that quite a bit, to be honest with
George
you.
Carlin's funny.
I
him.
love George Carlin. George Carlin cracks me up.
Yeah, yeah. No, I like listening to a bunch of people that they have like guests on that have stories.
Right.
Like a bunch of veterans.
Okay.
Stories.
Mm-hmm.
People that have just gone through terrible or horrific or just great things.
Interesting human
Yes.
experiences.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what I'm interested in. I like hearing people's perspectives,
Mm-hmm.
the way they think of the world, mainly because what they have gone through is what makes that.
Yeah.
And that's comedians in that. And I'll dabble a little bit on some sport podcasts, but other than that, it's just comedians and just I love hearing stories.
That's pretty close to mine as well, as far as, I mean, not necessarily just that, but yeah.
Yeah.
I get sucked down into Dan Carlin. I don't think he's related to George Carlin, but he does a show called Hardcore History.
Oh, I thought it was Dan.
It is Dan Carlin, yeah.
Oh, okay,
yeah.
okay.
Dan
Yeah,
Carlin's Hardcore History.
Yeah, I've listened to a couple of those episodes. I do like that.
They are a big investment, man.
Like 5
They're-
hours each or some shit?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, 5.5 hours
Yeah.
each.
Yeah, I only made the 3 episodes that I watched. I only made it for like 2 hours.
Yeah.
That was about it. And then I was just like,
It's a
oh,
big
good.
investment,
It
man.
is.
And it's detailed and it's good.
Super detailed. That's why it is good, and that's why people
Right.
like it because it's super detailed and
Mm-hmm.
he has all the facts, and it's crazy to hear what
And he doesn't
people back
position
then were
himself.
doing.
Oh, dude, it's so different.
I
It's
listened
incredibly
to that,
different,
Genghis
man.
Khan one.
Oh,
That-
yeah.
ruthless.
Yeah, the Wrath of Khan series is absolutely amazing.
It's ruthless. Yeah, there's like
There's-
3 episodes or so.
I think
4
that's right.
episodes.
Yeah.
They're
So,
long though too.
so he's got a 6-part series on just World War One,
Oh my god! And they're probably each about 4 hours long.
roughly. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
a
definitely
lot.
an investment.
And here's the thing, too. I just learned this the other day. I just completed it's called Blueprint for Armageddon series, and I just finished it. This is my third or fourth time through. I'm just now beginning to kind of comprehend what happened. Like, it's a lot of information, and there's two different fronts, and there's a lot of things that happened beforehand that set it all up, and then there's a lot of consequences afterhand, and a lot of details that go through the middle of it. It's honestly one of the most complex situations to ever try to comprehend. But the one thing that I did take away from it is how entirely different people legitimately were at that time. And it's just a little over 100 years ago. On the grand scheme of things, in the however many billions of years it's been since someone turned the light on in this universe and put everything into motion that got us here today, that 100 years is just a blip. And we've accelerated so fast. And that communication style is lost. Because this type of medium, like a podcast,
Technology.
obviously didn't exist. And like, even if you look and read, I don't know, you can read the Declaration of Independence, you can read anything like any colonial era paperwork. It's kind of hard to digest what those words mean. So don't even get me started with your generation and like no cap for real, bro, or whatever else. But it's getting harder to digest, man. Things are moving too quick.
Sure.
And so it's weird. And so now what I think is interesting is with this medium, right? If you have kids, right? Your kids will be able to listen to it. Grandkids will be able to listen to it. People that were created because of you, never knew you, will be able to hear you.
It's almost as it's a time capsule.
It almost is, yes.
Yeah.
It's a little moment frozen in space and time of who you were as a person at right then and there. And that's what I find interesting about this. You know?
For sure. And I mean, I don't think in history a time period has not changed as much as what we're living in right now.
Yeah, things are rapidly happening, and things are going to continue to rapidly happen. We're going to live through some more historic times.
I'm done. I'm done with them already.
Too bad. Unfortunately, too bad. There's gonna be some.
Oh, for sure.
We're luckily in a good spot in the United States of America. That is, we're in a really good spot now, as of where we are status wise, and we're not obviously wealthy people that own all sorts of different properties and raw materials, things like that. Our life is probably not going to be that much different than what it was pre 9/11, but it is going to look a little bit different. But there's going to be people in other places of the world that are going to have really hard times here very soon.
I agree.
Within about 10 years ish.
I agree, and yeah, it's like that's what is hard for us Americans to look at other countries.
It's hard to get that perspective.
Yes, for sure, because we're not living through it.
Right.
Some people can get that perspective by videos and stuff like that now, but it's not the same.
And you can empathize with it maybe, but it's hard to truly experience it and know that in your gut.
I guarantee if I went somewhere, like even like Mexico with everything going on right now.
Well, yeah, exactly. That deal all just popped off what feels like overnight. I'm sure it's not the case, but it feels like overnight,
Almost, pretty much. No, it's insane. Yeah, it's hard to put in perspective what other people in every other country is going through. And definitely some are worse off than others. And it's just hard. I mean, even myself, I have trouble sometimes because I am blessed and we don't have the same problems as other countries at all.
No.
Myself, I am blessed to be here right now. And I mean, I have to go back to my grandpa and my dad because they brought us over here.
Exactly.
I would be in Mexico right now if they wouldn't have.
Right.
And my life would be way different.
Exactly.
I'd be on the side of the road trying to clean your windows for a couple pesos. That's the thing, man. It's tough. It's tough.
Yeah, I mean, I've been to some places. Like, I've been to the Dominican Republic. I've been to some other places in the Caribbean. Like, man, that's a real reality check.
Yeah.
Like, we went through. Like when Katrina came through the Caribbean, right, as like a Category 1 or whatever. Before it went into the Gulf and got really ramped up. Yeah. I think it was maybe a 2. But we just left the DR when that went down.
Oh, shit.
Right? So we're at home. Meanwhile, keep in mind, this is, I think, yeah, so I haven't been to school in like almost 8 months because of Francis and Jean before that. So like I missed the whole 6th grade.
Right.
Like I think I got like the beginning orientation week of 6th grade, and then fast forward 6 weeks or so, and we went back to school for like another week or two, and then we got hit by the whichever one was second. I can't remember, Francis or Jean. But then and then we were gone, and then like I had this deal in the DR to go play ball down there, and I was 11, 12, something like that. 10, 11, 12, somewhere in there. And when we came back, we were just like happy that thing didn't hit us. But we're sitting there watching it on TV, right? And you're watching these huts get blown away with little tin roofs on them and stuff. And you're like, dude, we were just there.
Yeah, you
Like-
could have easily been one of them.
Well, right. We could have been, I mean, yeah, in the hotel, in the all-inclusive hotel.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you were still there. You were still there and experienced that experience itself.
It's
would change
different,
you.
man. It really is different.
And that's why I'm glad I don't live. I'm glad where I live because those hurricanes, man.
They can get rough.
Oh. Natural disasters, it's tough. We barely get anything here.
Yeah, and we get tornadoes.
Rarely though.
Very rarely on this side of
Yeah.
the Metroplex.
Right.
Now, if we were on like the same distance from Dallas, I'd say we're a little bit more of a targeted area.
Yeah.
But like, I mean, we had the one that just came by a couple weeks ago or whatever.
Yeah.
The funnel cloud that was it's developing.
Pretty much
Pretty much
right
went
next to us.
right down Ranger Highway, right above us.
Yep.
That was an interesting day.
Those are some scary things, man. Just 'cause there's nothing you can do about them.
No,
Just
and
gotta let it run its course.
hey, we have a plan here at Frankenstein. Okay, go to the Spintron room, all right, and just like close the door. Or if you can't get in there, come in here because this thing is built with 2x6s,
All the way around. Yeah.
and then it's built with 2x6s that are laid side by side across the top.
Okay.
Yeah, we could park a car on top of this damn thing and not have an issue.
Damn.
Now, there is one thing behind this concrete wall here. It is outside.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, like I can hear the air compressor, this one right here,
Yeah.
fucking fire off and thump right here against the wall because I think one of the bolts on it are loose or something. It's just duk, 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 duk.
Oh man.
Yeah, but no, man, we definitely are. And I think we're going to see some things change.
Definitely.
Some more in our lifetime.
I think it's just gonna speed up as well. I think we're just gonna start seeing a lot more things a lot quicker, especially
Yeah.
with obviously that Russia and things.
That was going to
on.
happen no matter what.
That's true.
Whether COVID, no COVID, a lot of people
Right.
said that was going to happen pretty much no matter what.
Did you listen to that last Joe
I
Rogan
did.
one? Yeah, that's that was a. It
That was
was a lot. It was
It was a lot, an hour and a half.
But definitely very informative. Very informative. A lot of things that I did not know about. And it's like the way he explained it, it's going to be crazy to see what Russia and China are in 60 years.
It's going to be
Especially-
crazy to
yeah.
see what China's like in 10 years.
Yeah, definitely. No, that's a podcast to listen to.
Yeah, it
It's a
is.
lot.
Yeah, it is. I think it's oh man, I can't remember the guy's name.
Yeah, me neither.
Oh, God. Nope. Now I got to inform the listener.
No, it's definitely a podcast everyone needs to listen to. Just because it doesn't just talk about other countries and what they're going to go through. It also talks about what we as Americans are possibly going to go through as well.
Oh, God, I can't remember now. I'm looking at his last name. It's Zion, Zeihan. Peter Zion. There it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, Peter Zion, he's a geopolitical expert.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, no. And it's actually really funny, the different geopolitical situations and consequences that kind of affect even a aftermarket cylinder head company like us. Like when the war in Russia and Ukraine broke out, the price of titanium valves through the moon.
And that's where we get our valves from, right?
Well, that's where like all the titanium ore in the world is.
Oh,
Is it's
okay.
focused in that China, Russia, Ukraine area.
Okay.
Like hell, the SR-71 Blackbird. If you want a good book about like engineering and stuff like that, there's a wonderful book, and let's see here. It's basically just called Skunk Works,
Okay.
and it is takes you through the pathway of developing the U-2, the SR-71, and some of the I think one other plane. I want to say the F-117, but I think it's Northrop Grumman plane. I'm not sure. That could be a Lockheed plane. I'm not real sure. But they go through that, and one of the funny things is that, you know, that's during the Cold War, and there was no trade from the USSR to America. there was a very limited trade from the USSR to other countries like Mexico that could then get put into the U.S., but it was extremely expensive. The tariffs were really high on it. So what Lockheed did was they formed a bunch of shell corporations, in the South Pacific, and would buy a ton of titanium from Ukraine just to build the airframe for the SR-71. Because that's a big freaking plane. It takes a lot of titanium.
Oh, yeah.
And that was the way that they had to do it. Okay, well, think about why would they go to Ukraine? Well, that's the source of the subject. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
that's
for sure.
where it is. So that immediately, it's like, it's like blood diamonds in Africa, man.
Yeah.
As soon as conflict breaks out, the price of everything goes up. So it's also caused delay because now there's, ore shortages going to people like Exeldyne and Manly and stuff like that. That then cause further delays, cause further delays. And folks, if you ordered something with titanium valves and you don't get it yet, this is why. In all reality, this is it.
No, there's definitely been a lot of backup.
And we've gotten a little better at, catching stuff up, things like that. But it's honestly, it's once you get a little bit behind, it's so hard to catch back up.
Oh, for sure.
Thankfully, we've had a reputation of, custom ordering stuff. So nothing is in stock ever.
Right.
Now we do, over the last couple of years, now we do have some things that are just normal part numbers that people can just order and goes out the door, but it's still not really in stock. I don't know if a cylinder head is in stock, really.
Yeah, that's tough.
But
Definitely tough.
everybody else is in the same boat. So nobody's really that much better off at the moment. That could change, but I don't know. I still see a pretty good demand for our stuff. And honestly, one group of people I feel bad for, people that clicked on this podcast to listen to stuff about cylinder heads. Those people got the short end of the stick today. Folks, sometimes we're going to talk about life and just, chop it up a little bit. Because I think, I listen to like other car podcasts and stuff. And like one of them, they do a really good job.
Right.
But it doesn't transfer to me to where I can appreciate the quality of production and stuff. I can't get into listening to it because it's just about the car.
Yeah, that's why I tried to listen to a couple of car podcasts and stuff like that. I just feel like I get lost. And,
I can see that.
I'm not too knowledgeable, just like as everyone else is here. I thought I was before I worked here, and then I started talking to people here, and I was like, I don't know shit.
Some of the people here can humble you quickly with information.
Oh my god! Yeah, I seriously, like, out of my whole friend groups in high school and everything like that, I knew everyone thought I was like a prodigy, and then it kind of got to my head, and then I got here, and I was like, damn, I don't know shit. It's tough. It was tough.
I know how to break shit. That's about it.
Yeah.
I'm pretty good at it.
Yeah. No, it's but those car podcasts it's hard to listen to for me at least.
Sure.
I do like. I just feel like sometimes it's not a normal conversation, just because it's all information about an item.
Right, or a subject or an event, like results wise. Like there's a ton of stuff like that wise as far as like on the sportsman side of drag racing and even the professional side. You can listen to a podcast and you can listen to someone just give you the results of the weekend or of the the week if they do bi-weekly stuff. So and such did this, somebody did that over here at this place. This happened, and I think that definitely has its place. And so does the area where these guys. Most of these guys are show car builders. They're going to Barrett-Jackson. They're going to Mecum. They're bringing in 57 Chevys and doing a little bit of rust repair and some upholstery work and. Then, fresh tank gas, fresh oil change, and transmission fluid change, and it's back out the door with a sticker on it saying, for auction.
Right.
And they tell you the story about that. Maybe they'll tell you the story about the car. And maybe the car came from a cool owner or something, right? But, that's it. It comes and goes with the car.
Yeah,
and I don't have as much of an emotional connection to cars as, some people do. Mm-hmm. Some people love their cars, and I get it. I grew up in a motorsports family. And when I was
came and went.
Not necessarily so much, just because we didn't have that much money for the racing budget.
Okay.
So my dad built his car, and don't get me wrong, he loved it and was pretty attached to it. But when I left my parents' sphere of influence, and I went racing right after I broke my hand, I couldn't play ball no more, so I left college and started racing full time. And that car. that car is no different than a 9/16 wrench. That thing is a tool that you are going to use to pry money out of other people's pockets. That's the way that it was looked at. So you need to maintain it that way. Like, you still need to care about it and maintain the vehicle.
Yeah, no, for sure.
So that way it can perform as best as possible for you. But like the attachment level, like I could care less.
It was a job. It wasn't a hobby.
Right. It was more like but it was still a lot of fun, man.
Yeah.
yeah, definitely.
It was kind of hard. That line got blurred a lot. Now when it's 101 degrees and freaking Paducah and I'm changing transmissions on the concrete, like, yeah, I'm not having a great time laying underneath that S10. Like, yeah, but you get over it. It's part of the gig, you know what I mean? Because then you get the beautiful weather in October when you're at Montgomery racing for the million, like now you're in prime conditions. Everything's wonderful. Everybody's upbeat. But no, man, like I would say that if you do have an emotional connection to a car, don't ever sell it.
Yeah, for the most part, I've noticed that like people that do have connections to it is either their father passed away and that was the first car they built together, or that was the one that they gave them. That type of thing.
Don't sell it. If you have an emotional connection to a car, do not get rid of it. Yeah. Gavin almost sold that truck that his grandfather that he either bought from his grandfather or grandfather. I'm not sure.
I remember that
he was talking about selling it and like doing something else, like building something else with the money. And I'm like, dude, you're gonna kick your ass.
Yeah.
And he took the motor out of it and stuff and sold that, but he didn't get rid of the truck, But no,
I know he's got plans for it again.
Yeah, he keeps going back and forth, man. He said he's going to put a big block in it. And he said, I don't know, maybe I'll get him on here and straighten him out and figure out what he needs.
I say talking about putting a diesel in it.
Yeah,
LT swap.
Hey, dude, I'm down for diesels, bro. Yeah. I love diesels.
Duramax.
I don't know too much about the platform, to be totally honest.
I don't know anything about them either.
I just know that they don't have a spark plug.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, there's no spark plugs in a diesel.
I don't know really anything about diesel.
Oh, so diesels are like really, there's not too many other things like them. So essentially what happens is in modern day diesels, there's no throttle body either.
Okay.
So it's all just depending on how much pedal you give the thing and based on load and ECU and a million other calculations that somebody in the comment section is going to be like, oh, you forgot about this, the KPA. Yeah. Okay. There's a calculation that basically depends on how much of a load you want to put on the engine with your foot. It puts in that much fuel.
Okay.
And that's how it throttles itself.
Okay.
So makes sense. That's where all the high-tech direct injection stuff came from. That's now in the LTs. And I guess in the in some of the Ford heads. Okay. It all pretty much got developed there.
Okay.
Bosch and Siemens and all these other guys spent a ton of money trying to figure that deal out. Delphi, all them. And they obviously did their homework. It works great. But like in a diesel, it's still 4 strokes. Like in a gas motor. But the thing is that you have, oh man, I don't even really know. I want to say like 14.5 to 1, 15.5 to 1 compression. Mm-hmm. And it runs like 65 pounds of boost.
Damn. And
that's like it's like a production vehicle almost. Mm-hmm. It's probably a little bit of a spicy production vehicle, but like a tune on like a Duramax is close to that area, I want to say. I could be totally freaking wrong, and there's going to be somebody that just absolutely rapes me in the comments. But
yeah, I also just want to say that just because I work here doesn't mean I know everything.
Yeah, that goes to you too, my neighbors. Okay, people, I don't work on cars. Yeah. Okay, if it has turn signals on it, I don't know dick about it. All right.
Oh man, sometimes I'm an idiot, and I feel like I have selective hearing sometimes, and I'll retain whatever I want to hear sometimes. Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I just want to let everyone know that I'm not the smartest, but I know a bit.
Well, that's the fun thing about working here is that I don't think anybody holds the golden key.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. And it really does take everybody's efforts here to make shit run, to make this thing move. Mm-hmm. And that's one of the things that's really become apparent to me over the past few years is that like nobody could literally do this thing on their own. Not to this level. Yeah. Can someone have a cylinder head shop in their garage with a Surdy and a old Big Red and a bunch of bits and, maybe go over to a machine shop for a surfacer? Sure. Yeah. They absolutely can. They can build a pressure check station at home. They can do all that stuff at home. And they can service their community or, global or whatever. They're not going to do the volume.
Nope.
They're not going to have the repetition of consistency either. And they're not going to also be able to do that while making new stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Definitely.
That's where the biggest hurdle for most people is once you get to a level that pretty much hits your max capacity, it's then making more new stuff and then being able to put that back into your manufacturing process and lineup.
That's the thing about the new things that we're coming up with.
Yeah.
It's we don't release it until
Not
we
until
know
shit's ready.
right. We know for a fact it's
Beyond a shadow of a doubt, ready to go.
exactly.
We can't fail because it's just too much blowback.
Mm-hmm.
You literally can't.
No.
And
not.
and yeah, we do tease some new products that are coming out or whatever. Half the time, it's just to see what the reaction is, to see if it's favorable of continuing that product idea. Some products that were teased 4 years ago, 3.5 years ago, just didn't pan out. Whether that be because of logistics, cost to us got too high, and like priced us out of the market on like to the consumer, and so those things didn't happen. But like some of the other things, we're just wanting to dial in, get detailed, and then try to bring the retail cost down as far down as we possibly can, because we don't want to not be competitive.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Definitely.
So that's where that end balance comes through. Even though you can manufacture a product that is to your liking, tested against what else is available commonly in the marketplace. Okay, cool. What if it's, I don't know, just throw a number. What if it's $10,000 and everybody else's stuff is $2,000?
Yeah.
Well, you're only going to get a small amount of people that really care about having that extra 3% or whatever it is of refining their entire, 100% of what they can milk out of a combination. Hey, we can get you a couple extra percent right here with this extra piece. How much is it? 10 G's. Huh? Do what now?
Oh man. Yeah,
So
that's the
that's-
craziest thing too.
Right. And I mean, that's guys like JD, and T-Board and everybody else, like there's a lot of number crunch. There's a lot of stuff that happens that hell I don't see, or, anybody just, it's complicated. It is a nuanced deal now that we've grown to this size. And I don't know. I kind of enjoy it. It's a fun challenge.
I agree. It's fun. I like it.
Y'all are having
enjoy
fun?
Matt goes, I don't know what y'all are talking
I'm
about.
working my ass off, man. This ain't
I go
fun.
home and I just hear meow, 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 meow.
It doesn't stop.
It's bad when it's in your head and it goes meow, meow, meow.
You jump out of bed.
That's when I wake up at like 2:30 in the morning. I'm covered in sweat.
Oh, man.
I'll never forget, like, one of the 6 months working here. Jesse was doing something to a low pro lid. It was hauling ass, dude. Like, it was fast. Mm-hmm. I don't know what the feed was, but it was nuts. And it's going back and cross. And we're sitting, it's me, Martin, this guy that used to work here named Bam Bam. It's a funny story why we call him Bam Bam. And JD's in his office. Jesse's in his. Jesse's on the phone with, I think, his wife, because something happened with Elliot, like he's sick at school or some shit. And we just hear that telltale, just bad, just like something broke and now it's skipping across. Yeah. And everybody just immediately got up, started running back, trying to figure out where it was, hit the E-stop, and we're like, what the hell happened? And then Jesse's Jesse's the last one to come out. He's like, babe, I gotta go. No. Comes out there and he's like, oh, so everybody saw my screw up, huh?
How long ago was that?
This is years, man. This is a long time ago. It's 2019, dude, before COVID.
I'm trying to think because I think I remember we had a problem with the Herco.
It's happened a couple times, Alex, all right?
Something got thrown and it broke the window to the Herco.
Oh, yeah. That was one of the first days the Herco was here.
Yeah, I remember that one. I was here for that one.
Yeah.
that was pretty loud.
Yeah, those things make fun noises when they go bang up against freaking windows.
Man.
Hell, the Mazak, for the longest freaking time, Jose had a broken window in it.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah, forever. Mm-hmm. It felt like forever it had a broken window in it.
Yep.
That's probably the one I'm talking about or thinking about.
Might be.
Yeah, for that I don't remember. That's
Yeah.
only one time that I've heard that.
We
Wasn't pleasant sound.
We don't crash stuff nowhere near as much
Yeah.
as like we used to. Hang on.
Yeah, please.
It's not that bad anymore. And not even anymore. We weren't even really doing it all that often before. I just remember it really notably because I was working here in early impressions, And I'm like, so how often do we just like run shit into other shit? Like, is this a normal thing? Like, is this part of just figuring it out, or like, how does this go? I didn't know a damn thing about, CAD models and machining things. And, Jesse explained to me, like, yeah, sure, you can design something that's kick ass, but if you can't machine it, cool, you got a pretty model. Wonderful.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, like, that's a very nuanced type of approach to it, is thinking of the whole picture.
Right.
And obviously that's some of your gig there. Mm-hmm. And how do you like your new desk, sir? You got a new desk? You got a surface plate?
Yep, I'm liking it. I haven't got to play with the surface plate yet, but I want to. I saw Jesse. He was laser scanning the coyote heads, those Holbrook heads, getting a flange program figured out. And like something like that would be cool. I want to figure out how that kind of works. So
that's a tough place to get into as well on the intake flange of those heads.
Oh, it is.
That's a tricky little bastard.
Yeah, it's tight, and it's got like a turn in it as well, and it's different left and right. So now we need 2 different programs for each one. We figured that out about halfway through running the first one. Jesse was watching it like, I wonder how it's going to do that.
We're professionals, folks.
It's called R&D. We're R-ing right now.
Oh, man.
Yeah, researching and destroying. That's always kind of been the joke, too, around here. We're rough on stuff, man. Like, some of the things we'll talk about later off microphone. Some of the things I've seen, some of the things some of our customers have done are pretty rowdy.
Yeah, that's
the pain in the ass, man.
I've seen some bad ones come in, but I've never seen that happen before.
Yeah, I mean, that one he probably downshifted it, if I had to guess. Probably just got downshifted a little higher, like from looking at just what it is, not ever talking to the guy, not knowing anything. If I were just someone brought me a cylinder head and say, hey, this happened, and it's in a road course application, my first gut feeling is always that someone just downshifted the thing and it got a little too much RPM on it, and I mean, that's going to happen. It's in road racing stuff, endurance racing stuff. I've learned a lot from a couple of guys that I know that work on that side. That stuff is incredibly difficult to achieve a level of success. Now, once you get to that level of success, as far as like durability wise, pretty easy to maintain it. And if you try to go any faster, IMSA or FIA kind of pulls you back, either power wise or weight wise. But if once you can achieve that level of durability, as long as you obviously don't lose your QC level, then it's pretty much rinse and repeat.
Right.
Now, there are some things that they kind of look at, fuel economy wise, or they're obviously always looking to try to improve aero and handling. But once you find brakes that last 24 hours, works pretty great. It's got anti-lock brake systems on those things, so it's easy for the drivers. It has traction control, so the traction control does sometimes beat up like the CV axles and stuff, but I think they've gotten that figured out. So, like I said, there's so many different driver aids and technology in it that it's kind of removed a little bit of not only just the driver input, but like of what efforts have to go into a car to make it live with the idiot driver that's also trying to do dumb shit to the car.
Yeah.
So it's a different environment. It's a different world.
Honestly, I like that kind of racing, though.
I do too. I enjoy it.
It looks fun. I would love to do that for sure.
Absolutely.
I would love to.
Couple $1 million, man. I can get you hooked up with a good IMSA team. I know a guy. I can make a phone call, dude. Couple $1 million a year, dude. We can get you into
a year.
Yeah, end of the year. We can get you into Le Mans. We can get you in Daytona for the Rolex 24.
If you're offering a loan, I'm all for it.
Do they take a check? I can write a check.
No, it seems really fun. I've watched a lot of videos on road course racing,
and it's
all
a
that.
blast.
It looks fun, man. Especially
go drive some go-karts over there by I-30 drag or Poseidon Drag or whatever the hell it's called now, on the east side of Dallas. They have Dallas Karting Center there.
Yeah.
Yep.
They've got some badass rental carts. It's probably the most badass rental cart I've ever sat in. Mm-hmm. I think we were going like 88, 90 miles an hour or something like that.
Which cart did you get in?
I didn't do the shifter ones because we didn't have time.
Okay.
It was getting dark. Mm-hmm. So I did whatever the most advanced shifter one was.
Yeah.
I guess like a pro crate or whatever the hell they call it, a crate class or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, and those things are pretty fast. Like, it was fun, dude. Like, I
wanting to
enjoyed
go out
it.
there. I used to go kart a lot back in Washington with another coworker. We worked
Okay.
on nights together. Sometimes we'd go in like in the morning before work and just go do some laps for the hell of it. But yeah, I've been wanting to go out and check out that karting complex
I mean, it's pretty far drive from here. It's
Yeah,
probably
a little bit.
2.5.
because it's on the other side of Dallas,
It's on
right?
the east side of Dallas.
Yeah.
I've only seen pictures of it, but it looks pretty cool.
It's a blast,
It looks
man.
pretty cool.
It is an absolute blast. I think maybe, Chris has kind of been talking about like one day trying to like go do something,
Yeah.
like as a shop.
Feel a little
You
field
know,
trip.
when we get a free day, or maybe like the day before like Christmas break or whatever. You know, we normally have our party. Maybe if we ever get to that point to where we can, like, it'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah, definitely.
Either that or paintball. I figured paintball's probably closer.
It's probably cheaper too.
It probably is. Yeah.
No, I've started getting back into paintballing. It's pretty fun.
Yeah, you're into
It's
paintball and stuff?
I just got back into it. I used to a long
Okay.
time ago. Middle school through a little bit of high school. I used to paintball pretty heavy.
You missed out, man. There's a time like when paintball was like on ESPN2.
Really?
Oh yeah, dude. Like I got super invested into paintball, like trying to understand how everything worked. And then like I learned like the closest paintball facility was like 2.5 hours away from my house. And I was like, yeah, well, I'm never doing that. I'm,
Yeah.
9 years old. So
Yeah, no, out here we would always just find someone that has land and
Right.
go out there and play with a couple buddies, or that Fun on the Run paintball place in Fort Worth.
oh, there's one in Fort Worth?
Yeah, Fun on the Run, and there's also one in Waxahachie now, Mad Dog Paintball, something like
Okay.
that. Yeah, no, it's really fun, man.
I bet it
It's
is.
definitely an exercise.
I believe that. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
probably a little bit more of an exercise than softball or golf.
Yeah,
which
I
is
went with my buddies
about my max.
about a month ago, and you're pretty much crouching behind an obstacle the whole time.
Okay.
Not the whole time, but it feels like pretty much all day. And the next day, it was a Monday. I came to work. My
Your legs
were
feeling it?
hurting, man. Yeah, I was feeling it for sure. It sucked. No, it's pretty
Oh.
fun though. It'd be fun. Everyone going. That'd be cool.
I think it would be pretty fun. Plus, I mean, how much fun would it be to shoot JD with a paintball gun? This is my first thought when you said that.
I'm going straight for Max. He's done for me.
Deal. Yeah. yeah.
man.
Totally worth it. Totally worth it. I'm not hitting Chris. Not
I'll
even.
light him
No
up, too.
shot. No. You've never been patted on the back by him before.
I have.
Him and his bear paw.
I watched Gunner get patted on the back by him once. I swear he broke his shoulder. He was like,
Moved him like 5 feet. I remember that.
Dude, he's really strong. He doesn't know it.
Yeah.
That man's a big man.
he's a big man. Yeah.
He's a real big man. Oh, but
Oh,
anyway, guys, I think I probably kept you here long enough, and people listening probably suffered enough, I guess. I don't know. This show sucks, right?
100%.
This show sucks.
it's the first one.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
gonna
yeah.
get
Don't
better.
listen to it. Hey, you know what, folks? Don't tell anybody about it, okay? Don't comment. Because if you say all these things, like in the video. Hang on, the camera's over here. I got to look at the camera now. Okay, we're going to do this in one cut. You ready? Yep, good job, man. All right, everybody. If you like the show, be sure to not tell anybody about it whatsoever, okay? Do not comment. Do not like. Do not subscribe. Do not click the little stupid bell thing. Like, just forget the whole thing even happened. If you didn't like it, do the same thing, okay? Don't leave comments, all right? We're not going to read them, okay? But seriously, folks, or really you two guys, I appreciate you guys coming
Oh,
by.
for sure, man.
Yeah, man.
For sure.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for all the help getting this shit in here too, by the
yeah.
way, man.
Yeah, no
It's
problem,
definitely
man.
appreciated.
This was pretty fun, honestly. I was a little nervous coming in, but
Yeah,
it's pretty relaxed. I like it.
yeah.
It wasn't bad at all.
No,
At all.
it's easy,
I like
man.
it.
Just
it was
chopping
pretty
it
easy
up.
to just talk.
Just chopping it up, bro.
Yeah,
That's
I
it,
agree.
man. I'm excited to see what else we got going on here. We're probably going to do this. I'm going to try to rotate everybody in the shop here, like maybe like once a year thing. Like just get everybody, at least each person in here. I need y'all's help getting Brad in here.
That's
Brad's
all.
scared.
Oh, he's scared?
I think Brad's scared.
I figured Brad would be the one guy that if you can get him talking, he will be going.
talk.
But
The
maybe-
numbers will be absolutely phenomenal.
Yes. But, okay, I could see getting him to that point. Getting him to
I just
open
got to
up.
get him in the room. I can lock the door. I just got to get him in here.
We'll just stand outside the
That's
door.
it, man. Exactly.
Just put a cylinder head, like lay a booby trap. Be like, Brad, I'm having an issue. Like this guide isn't blending right or anything. Can you come look at it? And as soon as he gets in,
Yeah, because I'm the one that's in here just going.
Well, just say it was a customer. A customer
it's a
just dropped it
customer.
off, set it in.
Yeah, hey, Brad, this customer said these heads leak. Brad's going to come over. I did them.
For all the gearheads, that would be probably the best episode.
It'd be phenomenal. There's nobody that's gone to that in depth on cylinder heads. You know, there's a
40 years.
Exactly. It's 40 years of effort, knowledge, experience, and getting instant feedback from working at probably, in my opinion, two of the best independent engine manufacturers in the country, probably the world, to be honest, because they have both shipped stuff to Qatar and Australia and everywhere else. So that's just my one man's opinion. However, like, it's the folks, if we ever get them on here, you'll just have to hear it. That's it. Like, I can't describe it.
sure.
I don't have words or a phrase that helps sum it up because it's just special.
You got to want to know the nitty gritty. Like, you can't just be like, oh, this is a cylinder head. It's got this valve in it. Like, that's why I like listening to Brad, because he'll go in depth.
Right.
And he'll go in depth for 20 minutes about something.
On a detail.
Yes, on one detail.
And then there's a story about how he got to that detail and why he
Yep.
does it that way now. Because something else happened. There was a consequence. He did it a different way before, and it wasn't as good.
Yep.
And like, that's it. Brad is so objective when it comes to this stuff. I love it. He's not tied to anything in particular. He's tied to what works. And as long as things work, Brad's okay with it. If it's a different project and we try to do something and it's not exactly the results that we're looking for, he'll just be like, okay, well, let's make a change. It's not like, oh, it's not this one dimension. Like, some people are tied to throat dimensions or taper or whatever it is. Brad's like, well, if that ain't the number or the result that we're looking for, let's make an adjustment. Let's see what we got to do. And then record that. I don't know how he remembers all this shit because it blows my mind. But hopefully we get him on here. No promises. I'm going to do my best. I'm going to see if I can con Jesse because I want to get Jesse and Brad in here at the same time.
That'd be a good one. That'd be a good one.
Oh, y'all miss the days when I used to get Brad in Jesse's office and just let them tee off on each other in political conversations. It was the most free entertainment in the world. It was the best. I loved it and I miss it.
Man.
But all right, guys, it's like 6:30. Let's get the hell out of here.
Do it.
Thanks for listening, folks. We don't know why you did.
Adios.
Take it easy.